All right, back for part three, discussing these leadership qualities in MacArthur and how, again, some of these traits that we may see on the onset and can be very detrimental and dangerous and destructive of relationships or connections or moving forward in a particular job or organization or occupation may also, in fact, be something that helps to inform or inspire or push leaders to be better leaders in certain situations. So, kind of going back to these ideas with MacArthur and seeing how narcissism may have made him the leader that he was, and that perhaps if he didn't have some of these qualities, some of the accomplishments and accolades he had may not have been within his reach. What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, so this is an interesting question here because it has to do with, and it's very relevant for anyone who's ever going to be in a career because you're going to work for some people that are really great and you really enjoy working for them, and you're going to work for some people that you don't like at all and can't stand them. The question is, do these things keep the person from achieving their goals in life, their being a good leader? And I have to say, in MacArthur's case, and despite all the negativity that I heard about MacArthur growing up from my dad and some of his peers, MacArthur was successful in what he did.
Right.
MacArthur, he was totally centered on himself. If you read his reminiscences, he totally ignored what other leaders in the Pacific were doing. People like Admiral Nimitz, who are usually are emphasized in histories, he talked only about what he did in reliberating the Philippines from Japanese control, and he did that. And so you could say, well, boy, the guy was a jerk. He was difficult. He was narcissistic. Yeah, but he got things done, and he
Right.
surrounded himself with capable people, and capable people that loved him. But they were able to be successful. So we've got to be careful about selling people short
Right.
because they're painful to be around. Another great example of this is Admiral Hyman Rickover, who was responsible for bringing about nuclear propulsion in the years after World War II. Again, very eccentric, uh, narcissistic type of personality, also extremely successful in what he did and set up a program that's still being used today. So, for MacArthur, I would say, yeah, this guy was I mean, he's a textbook of weirdness in a sense,
Hmm.
but yet an effective leader. And so these things that these qualities that people exhibit that we might think are negative, they don't necessarily take away from their ability to lead.
Right. So, successful despite some of these shortcomings, but in the right situations, the right environment, around the right people who are supportive or willing to be led by you, they're actually beneficial in a lot of ways. And then you told me also that he liked to go to the movies. So I'm thinking maybe one of his other favorite foods could have been popcorn. I
Very
don't know.
likely,
Maybe
yeah.
some, yeah.
He liked spending the time with his second wife, who he met going back to the Philippines on a sea voyage, and he always referred to her as a good soul, his good soldier, his favorite soldier. And so
Wow.
here again, she supported him
Following
completely
him.
and totally, and she was in his shadow and was happy to be there.
Wow. So yeah, so maybe, the image of the pipe and also the bucket of popcorn for me from MacArthur there. We want to also share just a few of the references, resources that we used in putting this project together. Of course, we're going to plug our own blog, Masters of Madness blog here, Reminiscences, and Manchester's American Caesar were certainly some of our go-to sources from MacArthur's own perspective, his own words, and from analyzing all of his achievements and accolades. And then certainly special thanks to the Douglas MacArthur Memorial in Norfolk, in downtown Norfolk, where we got to see up close and personal a little bit of his life and pay our respects.
Yep.
Yeah, well, thank you all for listening. This has been a lot of fun. Stay tuned for our next project, which will be on Miss Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Thanks, everyone.